Hello everyone, I'm Kavya Dhakal, a student here at Babylon National School studying in grade 9, and for this week's episode of Babylon Kidcast, I have here with me board topper, one of the toppers, and he is also the alumnus from our school. Let's welcome Mr. Aryan Shahi. Welcome, brother.
Hello Kavya, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. What about you?
I'm doing pretty good.
So, how does it feel to be back here at Babylon?
So Babylon is the place where I grew up basically from grade 1 to 10. So it feels nostalgic to be back in Babylon National School.
Yes, and it's been quite a long time since you've last read here. And have you seen any new changes?
So the infrastructures are really new, so it feels like it's been modernized than it used to be back in the days. So I think the overall atmosphere in the school has changed quite a lot.
Yes, and now moving a bit towards your journey here, you graduated in our grade 10 2078 batch, and could you share some of your memories from it and what you learned leading up to that period?
So as I said, I studied from grade 1, so I had quite a lot of memories that from my school life. So teachers, they used to be quite friendly. They taught me a lot, and whenever I had some problems, teachers used to approach me rather than me approaching them. So they could quite understand the students well. And talking about various other memories, I made good friends in school. I had quite a lot of good memories with my friends as well. And talking about education part, I had to never compromise in my studies. So basically, I got everything I need, from smart boards to well facilitated computer lab, science lab. So I had everything that I needed to pursue my education, right? So I think my uh, education, my knowledge up to this point has been quite facilitated by Babylon National School.
Yes, so moving towards grade 11 and 12 and preparing for your 12th examinations, do you think Babylon helped set you up in any kind of way to learn more and to get better at them?
Yes, so Babylon National School laid the foundation to my further studies. So, if I were not to learn the basic things in my school, in my primary level school, I could not have achieved the feat I have achieved right now. So, I think the school played an important role in whatever level I have reached at this point. So, uh, I would like to thank the school, my parents as well, for making this decision to make me study here, and it has been quite a remarkable feat that I've achieved due to the help of school.
Yes, so could you share more about what you studied in the past 2 years and what subjects they were?
So in the past 2 years, I studied physical group in science. So I studied physics, chemistry, maths, all those subjects, right? So I think those subjects were just basically in the grade 10 we had to study science. That got further divided into physics, chemistry, biology, but I did not study biology. I studied computer science. So I think those subjects were quite fun, and it feels like it's completely different from what we studied at grade 10, but it's basically continuation of those very same things.
Yes, and one thing I also want to know, and I'm sure our viewers love to as well, is how did you used to set up your mindset before studying? And then we can move towards some tips you have later on in the discussion.
So basically, when I studied, I only studied. I didn't used to get distracted from other things. So when you are going to study, make sure that you are fully in the mood of studying. Don't study without when your mind is not in the mood of studying. So basically, if you are going to read this portion today, suppose you are going to study science, right? So you have to set up certain goals, right? I will study this chapter, I will solve these many questions and everything. So the more you read, the more fun it gets in reading.
Yes, and moving a bit towards the tips, you said that science got further divided and it made it more challenging but more rewarding.
Yes.
Yes. So, do you have any specific tips you'd like to share to students to maybe set a foundation or to get better at subjects like chemistry and physics?
So what I suggest is, first of all, take it all easy. So you don't have to force yourself to do something higher up your level. So the more you learn, you usually get used to it as you go further in life. So just take it easy, and what you are supposed to learn, you have to learn. Yes, but don't worry about the future. So just go with the flow.
Yes. And what about mathematics? Could you share any things you have found that have worked for you on that subject?
So mathematics basically is quite a fun subject for me, especially. So I loved doing solving math questions. So in our school, Dipesh sir, Purna sir taught us math in grade 8, 9, 10, and it was quite fun solving those set book questions if you do that, right? And the teachers used to reward us sometimes if we solved those questions faster. So it was quite fun learning maths in school. So going further in grade 11 and 12, it was not quite a difficult task because I was already used to it, right? So in grade 11 and 12, it's completely different thing, but you should have the foundation from grade 10 as well, grade 9, 10. So it gets easier as you do that.
Yes, and I really found that, as you said, maths can be such a rewarding process. You take it lightly, you take it fun, and you try to learn and the best of it. And getting it right is always such a good experience. Yes. And what about computer science? So you mentioned you had chosen computer science, and throughout the years, as we're in a very deep age of technology, what have you found that works for you and that you would like to suggest to others?
So in the modern era, computer science is one of the growing subject. So I find computer science quite interesting. So there's programming, there's a lot of different things about networks, how computers share data and information from one another, about various types of software and how they work together to like form a computer system. So it's quite fun learning about the new technology that is growing, right? So in the modern world, there's a need of technology, and I think you should be focused in computer science, as in the future it will really be one of the major part of the world, I think.
Yes, and you mentioned that it will be a major part of the world. And moving more into that, so we are really learning a lot of programming and a lot of front end and back end development in school. And is there anything specific you'd like to say to students to do to set themselves up for future later?
So if you really want to pursue your career in computer science, you should really be focused from now on rather than doing it later. But if you are not going in the computer science field, you should just learn as much as you require in the course. So computer science is really fun if you really want to learn it, but you should not take it as a burden. So some students think it's really hard, and yes, it might be quite hard for someone, but just take it easy and you will get used to it.
So I'm finding a common theme that you're telling students to take it easy,
Yes.
to not go hard on themselves, and to just take it one step at a time and learn. So, brother, what other things have you found that work for you when it comes to studying and getting better academically?
So I had quite few experiences I would like to share about. So there are few of my friends that studied for a whole month, right? But I think they were not quite into it to study at that moment. So they did not secure good marks. But however, I studied just 2 3 days back, but got like completely into it. So I could secure good marks. So I think doing it longer doesn't mean it is better, but doing it like in a fruitful way, in a more effective way, is more preferred rather than just sitting in front of a table holding a book that does nothing.
Yes, and what do you think about students really trying to focus on the concept and learn that rather than memorizing and rote learning all of those facts which they'll forget immediately after the exam? Which one? You said you only prepared 2 to 3 days before. So was it easier for you because you already had the concept installed, or could you share more about that?
So, talking about concept, for concept, you have to actually listen to teachers in classroom. So that's where I got most of my concept from. One bad habit I had was if I didn't understand the topic, I would just write it. I would just learn it, memorize it, do anything to keep it in mind. That was a bad habit because I did not understand most of the things. But once I started learning from those concepts, it was quite easier to solve questions related to that, right? So if you memorize and study, you would only solve that question. But if you learn concept wise, you can solve various similar types of questions. I think concept wise learning is preferred.
Yes, and what about the grand college admission scene of grade 11? So you also went through that 2 years ago. And what did you see about the admissions process that you can share and you say to other students to take into consideration?
So it's not nothing like school. So there are thousands of students trying to get into good colleges, and I think it's quite um, bad scenario of Nepal that you have to give entrance examination to study in certain colleges. But I think it's also good to know your level, what kind of education you have received up to grade 10. So there were quite a lot of challenges. I studied bridge course even to connect the grade 10 and 11. So I think the entrance process was quite admission process was quite hectic, but it was not so problematic, I think. So you have to believe in yourself, just work hard, and you will get admission. You will get used to it.
So basically, study honestly and believe in yourself.
Yes.
Yes. And moving towards the future, so could you share what field you're looking to go into after 12?
So after 12, I would like to pursue my career in computer field. So I'm trying to go into computer engineering field, moreover artificial intelligence and such. So I think I have quite interest in learning about technology, programming. I have learned game developing languages, Python, C, basically. So I think it's quite fun doing computer science, especially the trend right now also suggests computer science is good. So I think I'll pursue my career in computer.
And anything else specific you are looking towards the next 5 years or lesser?
So I think in the next 5 years, I would at least make my parents proud. First of all, they have done a lot for me, and I would like to thank Babylon National School, my college, and everyone that supported me in this journey. So I would definitely work hard for more progress in the future, and I would do my best in my studies.
Yes. And closing off now, is there anything else you'd like to share to students and the next generation coming up? Because you've had a steady upward curve in your studies and the grades and all of the feats that you've accomplished. So, is there anything you'd like to share to us?
So, dear juniors, don't take it hard upon yourself. Yes. So, the more you work on yourself, the more you dedicate yourself on studies, you'll get used to it. And don't take study as burden. Enjoy studying. So, if you have free time, don't just play games. You can read something. If you don't understand, you can talk to teachers. Teachers are not that strict unless you go and disturb them. Yes. So teachers are quite helpful. Teachers they suggest you on what is good and what is bad. So don't be afraid to talk to teachers. Don't be afraid to take further steps in your studies. Don't be afraid to find things that you like and that you don't like. Find the areas that you are good in. Find the areas that you are bad in, and work accordingly. And everything will be fine. So just do your best.
So, brother, one last question I want to ask. So, smart work and honest work equals success. Do you believe in that saying? Smart work and honest work.
Yes, I think so. Smart work and honest work definitely leads to success, but sometimes you have to cheat on yourself. Like, suppose if you don't understand a concept, but you are close to exam, you are not supposed to like go and learn the concept from the beginning, but just memorize it and later learn it. So it depends upon the situation, but I think smart work and honest work definitely means
So,
success.
rather than cheat, you are just saying utilize the best of your
Yes,
resources.
yes.
Yes.
Depends upon the situation.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much, brother. This was a really insightful conversation, and I also got to learn a lot. So thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you, Kavya, for having me here. Thank you, Babylon National School.